Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit and welcome to Uncanny Legends. How long's it been since I've said that? It's time to go back to it because after 2 attempts of being completely on time with what's new, there is nothing new. Loads of people have always in smatterings wanted a bit of Uncanny Legends and we're only a bit of the way through them, savouring our progress. But let us return to the light green wonder of these more difficult stages and see how far we can go. We don't need to worry about completing sub-chapters now because we have the leaderships and we left ourselves, near the start anyway, of, I've already forgotten, the Endless Wood. What I'm going to do is create a slight variant of my normal works for everything kind of slot with a little bit more of a relic-y twist to it. So I am going to put in the true form of drama cats, and hoping there are no normal type enemies, I'm going to place in something that has an effect on everything and thus relics as well, Ultralan the Ultraman. And so this should provide a decent start and founding to our goes, because although they are luckily continue stages, they are still plenty energy each. So let's see how this does in our first attempt of the day. Shallow Sea Green begins with a Sulaboodle. Okay, so these ones, loads of damage but very little health. So cheap as we can have, Meat Shield with Jizo behind it, which should provide plenty enough damage, but apparently does not. Okay, well we're gonna supplement it then. 2 Meat Shield seems to be just about enough, a little bit difficult, but we're gonna get through this and get plenty of worker cat levels out of it, which suits me. The area attack is also very helpful for the multitude of Croxos that have appeared. They are not going to distract us from our aim. A metal seal. Right, good. Well, we have Paladin. It's a multi-purpose slot, luckily. Come on, come on. No. Oh, it got knocked back. It didn't seem close enough to be knocked back, and there's no critical hit there. I don't have anything. Oh, dear. Wow, I really don't have anything now. I was going to say I don't have anything to placate metal enemies, but I just literally have nothing to work with now. Ultralan the Ultraman doesn't work against metals, so that's going to be of no use. So we're going to have to start again, but start again with the knowledge of how we need to tailor our strat. So there really is nothing else that's useful against metals, so we'll start similarly to how we did. I'll do the drama cats up first, and my plan is this time to get out a paladin after the first wave of danger, so that then, when it probably dies, we have the chance to get another one out. Because actually, I don't even know if it manages to do a critical hit, whether we will have it killed in one, or whether we'll have to have several critical hits. See, Paladin's just taken the mech now. It's done 2 critical hit attacks in a row, and got hit there quite worryingly. Let's hope that Sulaboodle sods off quickly then, because I really do not need Paladin dying to that of all things. I need as much Paladin exposure as possible. Speaking of that, the metal seal is here now, and I can't really do anything differently. Did you just critical hit on something that you didn't need to, and then not critical hit on the metal seal? You did, didn't you? But luckily for us, it's almost Paladin again time, and thank goodness for that, because our first one's dead. Cyberpunk doesn't have an effect on metals either, but can slow what is behind them, and all I can do is use my 2 meat shields, which definitely don't seem like enough, and hope that Paladin will get the lucky shot that it needs. Come on, Paladin, there's another one of those. That is really quite bad. If we are going to be able to beat this, we're going to need a lot better luck, and there's the answer to our previous question. No, you don't kill them in 1 Paladin shot. I don't believe you even kill them in 2. We got Jizo and Slapstick Cats out this time in the hope that we could deal with the Sulaboodle more quickly. Let's get the Paladin out now. It's got plenty of space to walk before it gets into any kind of danger zone. And the idea is that we kill the Sulaboodle and Paladin is safe, at least for now, and that's worked out really rather well. And there is our first metal seal. I'll put a Cyberpunk out now to try and delay the progress of anything behind the metal seal. We are now relying on RNG of Paladin, which has so far disappointed us immensely. Good. Critical hit, but as we know, still alive. But if we can chip away at this one now, we won't have as much trouble with the next one later. But our Paladin is already dead, and we're going to need to wait for the next one. Going to get Meg Aphrodite out, actually. Very good against aliens, and actually really good against anything. So the benefit against aliens is probably going to make the metals the only problem, instead of a huge problem with problems on the side of that. Paladin ready? No, we've already got it out. Okay, I'm going a bit ahead of myself there. Right, we've got max worker cat. We got a decent distance between stuff and us, possibly courtesy of the clearing out area attack of Meg Aphrodite. Paladin gets knocked back. I'm not sure by what, but that has been the running theme. He just gets knocked back. I guess I just have to accept that as a fact of his very short life. There is another critical hit, but still surviving. We replace one newly dead paladin with one newly spawned paladin. Can this one make the difference we need it to? Come on, paladin. Oh, you are not good. This is what I'm going to do differently then. I found it a real shame that Paladin wasn't strong enough, but actually I think that was a fairly decent run, and if we got decimated there, we were going to continue getting decimated. So I've added more critical hitters, and actually, well, different ones. Got rid of Paladin entirely because he hasn't been particularly satisfactory. Hayabusa now hopefully stands at a further range, runs in, and has a better chance of criticaling. I don't know if that's actually true, proc rate wise, but he is more expensive and has a longer recharge time, so I assume so. We've also got Waitress with a 100% proc rate, and that should stand a decent enough range, though I'm not sure. I haven't checked the ranges, which I guess is all part of the fun and also danger to manage the metal enemies, which we've previously not been able to do. We have the Chaos Moon. Derided perhaps, but has range, has ability to slow metals, and that is good enough for me. We've got Manic Macho Legs finally as a Croxo dealer wither if we get within Meg Aphrodite's blind spot. That, I think, should be enough to get us through it. Oh wow, those waves are really working well. I thought the waves would have an occasional benefit, but actually it's knocking back the Celeboodle every single time. So good score for you, Manic Macho Legs. That's going to clear them out nicely and quickly so that we can get onto bigger and better things. I don't want to Waitress too early because it might start attacking stuff it doesn't need to, but I think there might be sensible enough. These are quite strong Croxos. Okay, so Manic Macho Legs deals with Celeboodle far better than I expected, but Croxo's not quite as well as I expected, meaning that Waitress gives out an attack that sort of misses before the metal enemy arrives. Oh well, we will give it our best shot now. Let's get the metal placator in there and then Hayabusa when we can afford it. That should keep everything in stasis and give us some eventual critical hits that we have been very much without. We actually managed to move the metal seal back there, which is far better than we've ever achieved so far today, probably because we do have dedicated anti-metal units, and there's that one completely gone. So hopefully we can continue to deal with these one at a time instead of having them stack up and eventually defeat us like before. Chaos Moon causing great slow pretty much everywhere. It's keeping things in a much safer place. We're getting advanced on far less, and you can see the evidence of that through our actually properly nice stack. I reckon that means that the win shall be coming our way. Oh, that's a mighty shame. I was thinking of actually starting to put talents onto Paladin, but of all the things that do have talents, it doesn't. Now, I haven't put talents onto other things because they've typically been good enough, and I want to retain at least some of the challenge instead of making it easier than it really needs to be. But I would have hoped for maybe an increased critical rate talent or something like that, and that would have made Paladin more of a kind of reasonable unit. Unfortunately, it's not the case, so we're going to stick with Hayabusa for the next level. Playing Bandits is our next stage with the more uncanny background of sort of actually fat rap music style mountains, I'm feeling. Oh, shockers. It's old horns they're called, aren't they? Flipping, flopping things. Right, Cyberpunk out immediately. They're slow. Hopefully we can intercept them and cause them to be slow. Next, Meg Aphrodite. Damage? I don't know. We don't have much anti-relic-y other than our slapstick cats and what happens to be an anti-relic also for Cyberpunk. So once again, meat shielding as far as I can. I kept Manic Macho Legs, and that seems to have been a good choice of all the peons that accompany these old horns. And so once again, it's cautiously upgrade the worker cat whilst hoping that what we've got with us is enough to withstand the power of this. But I don't think it is. They have now succeeded in getting inside Cyberpunk's blind spot despite my best efforts. Meg Aphrodite's been knocked back, but they'll once again be within her blind spot. That is pretty decimating. Let's try and get the worker cat up to max and build ourselves up better, and see if that has any big impact at all. A Razor and Manic Macho Legs seems sensible to me as a nice peon deterrent while we upgrade the Worker Cat. Max Worker Cat achieved. I'm wondering whether to try and let us fall back or to move forward. I have a feeling that we're not going to be pushed back with the amount of erasers there, so let's move forward with haste. Right, Cyberpunk, please get yourself into place. Stop these lads, these very strong lads, from causing us too much damage. We had a brief bit of good slow there, but I think just the amount of slow we get from Cyberpunk is not enough. That's made me think, surely with the very kind of permissive start to this stage, couldn't we actually engage in some Cyberpunk stacking? That might be a genuinely possible opportunity. Just a Razor to keep them from the base, and Cyberpunk, they'll be well within the blind spot. That could work really well. Oh! Ava 00! No! Look at that! My brief mention of strategy has spurred my units into action! Why is that the case? Ava Unit 0, you dark horse! Buggy Hollows then. What has this one got in store for us? Well, actually, before I do that, well, could we see what's coming out? Ah, zombies. Right. There's a little bit of information to work with. Let's see what we can do to tinily tailor the strat. Okay, so zombies. Notoriously bad for Cyberpunk because they can burrow, and if they bite him even once of the tiniest of feeble munches, he will be gone. So I've replaced him with Housewife Cat, Destroyer of the Patriarchy, and good unit also, and an Ava unit. An additional one, because the more AV units I can get, the happier I tend to be. Normal type enemies, I spoke about you before, you creatures. Right, no Shadow Gal for you, but a slow beam and hopefully some Ava 01 action. It's ranged, it's certainly sorting out the zombies, but that one would expect. I'm using both my meat shields and ramen whenever I can. I'm going to try and get another Jizo out, not specifically against them, but good damage from it nonetheless. But probably not enough. These people, though not fast moving, are definitely moving through us, and although the zombies are falling away, they are not, except for one douche. Two douches. We are just about going to be saved from defeat at the hands of the classic Stories of Legend enemies. There's another wave of them. Right, no time for complacency. Let's slow beam them. I want to try and get one Worker Cat upgrade so I can spam more efficiently. This is going to be edge of the seat sort of stuff, I reckon. Ava 01 actually, I think, is providing a really brilliant backline defense. Amazing against the zombies, which is good because otherwise they might burrow and ruin the tiny stack that I have, and also pretty strong against the other units that are there anyway. And that now gives us the opportunity to move forward properly. Hurrah! That was it. Great level, actually. Really enjoyed that because it had a bit of a hairy and scary moment, but we managed to get through it and were duly rewarded through victory. Right, scouting operation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's stop there so that we're not going over the limit. We're told nothing particularly. Gonna return the strat to roughly what it was in an all-purpose form and see what happens in these towering pillars of possible defeat. I'll take the opportunity of calm to upgrade my Worker Cat then, though I suspect that just outside the range of what we were able to see before will be something quite terrifying, maybe even on a timer, so I won't immediately upgrade the Worker Cat when I can, but we have got it to level 3 and that's good so far. Okay, a lot of Cellaboodles. That would be effectively dealt with by Slapstick and Manic Macho Legs. We know that now from our previous exploits here. They're all in their attack up phase, but a combination of the waves and the really quite good knockback from Slapstick Cats has allowed us to succeed there. Maxed out on our monies, because of course they are Cellaboodles, and I should have paid better attention to that to maximise the money we got. And it's an Elder Sloth, Otters and Professor A, which is brilliant because we have a Meg Aphrodite who outranges it. Right, Professor A is probably not going to be much of an issue. Elder Sloth, with Meg Aphrodite also there, is not going to be much of an issue. It is a Meg Aphrodite paradise if we ignore the impending Otters, which certainly are not conducive to that paradise because they get inside her blind spot very easily. Let's use a slapstick cats to deal with them. And before I could even finish my sentence, the first wave of them are gone. I think actually we've slightly inadvertently managed to create ourselves the perfect strat for what we're seeing here. Elder Sloth is gone. There's not a very close to us, but I think we're going to be alright. I'll bring in Ava Unit 0. Nice and relatively tanky. Should be able to just walk up to Professor A now that it's just that there. Or Meg Aphrodite could knock it back even further and launch us very much closer to victory. I think this one is going to be another relatively plain sailing level. We have made good progress all by oneself today. This last section looks like it will remain slow though. Ava Unit 0 was obliterated, but now so is Professor A, so that's fine. The level is going to be ours. There's very little the enemies can do about it now that we're on the base, just as when they're on mine. Haha, sweet revenge. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, you've got to stop doing that, Regit. People don't like it. Hurrah, it's a victory. Loads of XP in these levels. I mean, if I needed XP, I'd be even more impressed. So, we've achieved some good things today, and that leaves one stage. I've enjoyed these Stories of Legend to Uncanny Legend exploits today, and I hope that you have derived some enjoyment from watching me take part in them. And on that note of hoping for your enjoyment, I will bid you goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed.